If you had the question, what do you want to be when you grow up? Then you are 100% with the rest of the population in this. I remember getting asked that question all the time. And from an early age, it was clear that you were expected to have a career path that you were set on and to follow it. But the age old question is, how on earth do I know what I want to do? Full disclaimer, I don't think you ever truly wake up and go, I know what I want to do with my life now. In reality, it's all about the little steps, getting to know yourself better, going on your own journey, and you do truly figure it out as you go. But in this video, I'm going to help you explore ways that you can get closer to a career you enjoy and to start answering that question of what do you want to do with your days. If you're watching this video, your mind might be in a little bit of chaos. And I remember when I was in my teens, this question of what I wanted to do, it came up time and time again from my friends, my family, teachers, even random people that you meet. Their first question is often, what do you do? And to not know that or to not have an answer, it can feel frightening. And it might feel like everyone else seems to have it figured out around you, but I promise you that isn't true. And you definitely are not alone. Everybody at some point has been in this position where they feel a little lost and perhaps overwhelmed by possibilities that they just aren't sure which one to pick. But the first things I'd love to share is that you need to get comfortable with yourself and you need to start to get to know yourself better. Start by writing a list of what you're good at. Are you someone who's good in front of crowds or public speaking, capturing attention? Or are you organized? Are you a software genius or do you like design? If you get stuck here and you truly can't think of something that you're good at, lean on your friends, lean on your family, and ask them what they think your strengths are. And I promise you, you will be surprised at what comes up. And you will have a list of things that you're good at, even if you didn't know. Alongside this list of things that you're naturally good at, start listing down things that you actually enjoy doing. So, your hobbies and your interests. Do you enjoy being outside or working out, being active? Coaching people, teaching, gaming, blogging, photography, looking after animals. The good news is the world's changing. And 50 years ago, there were so many more limits in what you could do for a career than now. And I'm sure in another 50 years, the working world will have changed dramatically again, too. We're seeing it now with the rise of AI. There's new jobs created and the old ones are becoming lost. You literally get paid to do so many things nowadays. You could be paid to game or be watched gaming, or you can be paid to flip furniture or do voiceover work or do online surveys. There's so many careers that you might not have thought of that aren't the traditional worker route that's pushed on you at your school, and they're in your reach. And with modern day technology and the new interests of people that come with it, it's created so much opportunity that sometimes it really does just feel overwhelming to try and pick one. It's so cool. You could literally tie your hobbies into making money. So for me, I love educating people and I love getting them to have that penny drop moment and realize their potential. But I never saw myself teaching in a classroom to kids. So that's why I do free videos to share tips that I've learned throughout my career history, post on LinkedIn tips for people who are job searching in the hope that it will help others. So for you, with your list of what you're good at and what you enjoy and your hobbies, try and find correlations between them to generate ideas of careers you can look into and create a mind map of what comes up. Next up, you need to get granular on the future. Ask yourself, what kind of life do I want? So for me, I worked in corporate for years, and then I realized it wasn't giving me the life that I wanted and pictured for myself doing for the next 20 years. And when I looked at that career hierarchy and what their lives looked like, I didn't see myself in those positions. And that really kicked me into action of taking a step back and truly thinking about the life that I wanted to create for myself and what I wanted my days to look like. Ultimately, there was no point staying in a company if the step ups don't motivate you or inspire you. I personally just saw people getting more stressed, they had less time, and they were closer to burnout. And I knew in an ideal world, I wanted more flexibility to travel and to get away from the UK in the winter. I wanted to be creative, make my own decisions, and ideally have both financial and time freedom. And I had to look at the kind of career that could give me that. For some people, they absolutely dread the thought of being inside all day and they need a job that keeps them on the road, or they crave something outside interacting with people and being in nature. Some people, the thought of speaking with people on a day to day basis is a no. So they would rather be in a position that keeps themselves to themselves. Also, ask yourself things such as, do I want to be managed, or do I eventually want to manage a team? Or do you want a varied day, or typically one that you know what you're going into and looks the same day to day? You also then need to consider money. Do you think that salary is the most important factor when you're considering a move? Or is it actually more about the flexibility in your day to day? Having worked in recruitment for years now, I often find people in the younger generation who are full of beans, are chasing the money and the impressive titles. I know I was. Whereas middle age or the older generation are craving that flexibility and that freedom. So, what part of life are you at? And what are your non negotiables at this area of your life? I would then start making a list of what your days and what your life would look like. So, I tend to write this in the first person. So, for the stage of my life that I am at now, my ideal life would sound something like this. I wake up energized at 7 a.m. I have time to do a workout before logging onto my laptop from home to do some work remotely for a couple of hours where I'm coaching people on their career journeys. I then record a YouTube video on career tips and I spend the afternoon editing in the sunshine, hopefully, before reading in the evening and spending time with friends and family. Now, obviously, in an ideal world, I probably would actually be on a yacht in the ocean, traveling the world and not hustling so much. But the reality is, what do I actually enjoy if I do have to spend my time working? So I encourage you to have the same conversation with yourself and write that day down as if you already have it. And then when thinking about the roles, ask yourself if that fits with your goals. And reread that ideal day over and over each morning to remind yourself the steps that you need to take to make it a reality. So then, alongside looking at what your day looks like, start considering your values too. Early in people's career, people stay in a role way too long and they're miserable and they're staying there simply because the job title looked good, but it's draining them as the company or the way of working doesn't align with their core values. This is a really key point to consider. Don't become someone who's so attached or constantly chasing job titles. What's most important is you focus on the daily tasks and how it aligns with what you want out of your day and what you want long term out of your life. Something that you will get used to out of your career and it shouldn't be overlooked is trusting your gut. It's so important to listen to yourself and don't do things just because you think it will look good. Think instead about what feels good for you and not for anybody else. So, for example, when I was in school, it felt like every single person, all of my friendship group were being pushed into university. And I remember it so clearly. I went for the open day and I thought I wanted to study psychology. But when I arrived at university, something just felt totally off. And I remember sitting in Subway with my mum and saying, this just isn't for me. Can we go home? Relief that I felt having made that decision. It's just like my gut just knew this wasn't the right path for me. And it was scary because it was a path that everybody was following at the time. But you have to stay true to you and learn to listen to that voice telling you the way. And you'll be surprised how much it shows up for you in your career and how trusting in your intuition and following that little voice inside your head can just open these doors that you didn't even realize existed beforehand. On the subject of university, there's so much pressure when you leave school to go to university and to pick a subject and to make that your lifelong career. But please don't feel the pressure to comply if that doesn't feel right for you. I know so many people went down this path and they've never used their degree again, and they're in a mountain of debt that they're having to pay off over the next 40 years. Now, don't get me wrong, university is great if you have a passion that you want to follow or you want to continue studying because learning's never a bad thing and it can definitely teach you other life skills that you can take on throughout your career. But if you're not sure what you want to study, or even if you don't want to study anymore, then I'm here to say that that is okay too. If you're in your teens, or if you're in your late 20s, even watching this, something that you won't realize yet, but is very true and becomes apparent the further on you get in life, is that this is the time to try different things and to figure out what you like. It really is the journey that you take throughout your career that then highlights what you do and what you don't like. I look at our ages in boxes. So 0 to 18, you're a child. 18 to 30, you're in early adulthood. And so when you're 20, you've only had 2 years of adulthood in my mind. So, how on earth are you meant to know what you like and what energizes you totally by then? You just won't. So, take these years as an opportunity to try different things and be a sponge and learn from people, listen to podcasts or volunteer for things that seem interesting. Just switch up those industries that you work in until you accumulate a list of what you enjoy, how you like to work, and what doesn't excite you. The more years you spend working, the more you're going to start identifying patterns and trends that helps you move into a more suitable career and role in the future. Sadly, you won't just graduate and fall into a role and think, yep, that's me done forever. Or if you do, it is really uncommon. I see more and more people are just moving roles regularly. And the average tenure now for an employee in the US is at 2 years and 1 month. Whereas back 50 years ago, employees stayed so much longer, the average tenure was 10 years per role. So It really just shows that more people are moving for careers or for a change of scenery than not. So don't be afraid of doing the same thing and trying different things to learn what truly resonates with you. So, in my job as a recruiter, I see people of all walks of life and ages changing careers and pivoting into different industries. And it isn't the easiest thing to do in the world, of course, but equally it happens every day. And the skills that you're building throughout your working life will definitely translate into other working fields too. So don't be afraid to start over. It can be scary, but what's scarier is staying in a life that you dislike each day. And you just can't live your life being afraid of change. And once you've learned the lessons from your job, then use that intuition to guide you into the next step. Next up, something so simple but effective is simply just to speak with others. You must know so many people, and each of them, I'm sure, will have a different job or work in a different industry. So start having conversations with them about what they do for work and ask them what a typical day looks like for them, or dive deeper into what they love about their role and what things aren't so enjoyable. As all jobs have down days, they do. And things aren't always going to light us up, but that is just normal. Nothing is ever perfect, unfortunately. So it's about learning which jobs you can tolerate the not so glamorous parts of because you find that you enjoy the majority of it. You'd be surprised how many people are open to these conversations and how much it can help you get a different feel of industries really quickly and learn if it's right for you and if it aligns with your ideal day and your ideal values that you've created earlier. And finally, I want to end on something hugely important that took me forever to learn, and I'm probably still learning, which is don't be afraid to fail. It's okay to fail, and each failure will lead you closer to what is meant for you, even if it doesn't feel that way at the time. Don't be afraid to look silly. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there, and definitely don't be afraid to fail. I said before on this channel that I got made redundant from a company in my early 20s. And at the time, I was heartbroken and I thought, that's it. I can never work in recruitment again. I'm not good. I failed. But when I look back now, I am so, so grateful that that happened to me. And it taught me so much. It taught me what I liked and what I didn't like, but I probably tolerated for way too long. And I truly believe if I wasn't let go, I do not think I'd be here now with the lessons from it. And if I hadn't had such a huge necessary wake up on what was right for me, it might not have fueled my passion of wanting to help others not stay in a place where they aren't thriving too. So the path won't be linear. There will be lots of ups and downs along the way throughout your career. But I believe so long as you show up, so long as you try different things, and so long as you start learning what you like and what you dislike, you will find what's right for you. If you have found a role and you're now in that application process, but you're worried about your resume, then check out this video here on how to create one that gets results. Good luck with your journey, and I will see you in the next video.